So when we talk about cloud storage, what we're saying is we're enabling you to move files off of your PC, your hard drive. And when I say PC, it could be a laptop, a desktop, you could be on a MacBook, anything that has a hard drive. You can move your files off of your computer's hard drive and then store those files in the cloud. Well, what do we mean by that? So we talk about the cloud, what you're seeing in the middle of the screen, this other image here, this is a picture of what we call a data center. And a data center is nothing more than a building. It's a physical building that is designed to house floors and floors, rows and rows of computers, just like you see here. I've been to many data centers in my day, and this is actually a very clean, very pretty looking data center. They're not all this nice looking. So this is what a typical data center would look like. And you can see there are just these racks, one computer on top of another, on top of another. These computers are all connected to the internet. And when you are storing your data, your files in the cloud, what you're actually doing is you're storing your data, your files on the hard drive of one of these computers sitting in a data center that's connected to the internet. Now, these computers are a little bit different than maybe the laptop you have sitting on your desk at home. They are very powerful. They're very fast. They have lots of storage capacity. But this is really what we mean by the cloud. It's sitting on a hard drive of another computer connected to the internet, and each data center is managed by another company, whether it's Amazon or IBM or Apple or Microsoft. They all have their own data centers. Typically, they have multiple data centers across the United States, across the world. And this is what we mean by cloud storage. So stop me if you have any questions. Linda put a question in. Does the file then take storage space both on your computer and on the cloud? What a great question. So it depends, Linda. If you are moving your files off of your hard drive and just storing them on the cloud, then there is only one instance of the file, and that would be sitting on one of these computers in the data center. If you removed it from your PC because you truly just want to take some of your data and just have it stored in the cloud so that you can free up space on your computer, then it wouldn't be sitting here on both places. Now, that's not the case if you want to use something called file syncing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So it really depends on you. Do you want to have your files stored in both places? That's a possibility. But again, another reason to use cloud storage is so that you can move some of or all of your files off of your PC and instead have them stored on the file where you can always access them. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But thanks for asking that question. On the lower right-hand side of the slide, what you're seeing here are some of the more well-known names in the cloud storage space, if you will. iCloud. This is Apple's cloud storage application. So if you're using an Apple device, let's say, you can use iCloud to store your files in the cloud. OneDrive. This is Microsoft's cloud storage application. So if you're on a Windows machine like I am, you might be using Microsoft's OneDrive, and that's their cloud storage application. Google Drive, this is Google's cloud storage app. So if you use some of the Google apps, whether it's Google Sheets or Google Docs, you're going to be storing those files in the cloud as well. And then finally, there's Dropbox. And Dropbox is the name of the company as well as the name of the product. So Dropbox is another cloud storage application. And these have been around for a while. I always get the question, well, should I be using one? I already have OneDrive. Should I also use Dropbox? And that is more of a, it's more of a personal choice. So I've been using Dropbox for many, many years. It's been around for a long time. And so I store my personal files on Dropbox. And I do have a copy on my hard drive, but I tend to use the Dropbox more as kind of almost like a backup. So I will always make a copy of some of my most important personal files. So they're sitting in my Dropbox account in the cloud. But I also use Google Drive for work because Get Set Up is a Google shop, and we do our work through using a lot of the Google apps. So my work files are stored on Google Drive. So it really just depends. And Linda has another great question. I have been using Word. Is there an associated cloud storage for that? Linda, I would say I'm a Word user as well. And with Google Drive, you can upload your Word files to something like Google Drive or OneDrive, any of these really cloud storage apps. And they will convert them, like for example, Google Drive, when I upload a Word document, it converts it into a Google Docs document so that it can be, you can open it up in Google Drive or in Google Docs rather. There is no one particular cloud storage app just for like Microsoft, Word, although OneDrive is Microsoft's cloud storage app. So probably that would be the closest one I could think of if you used OneDrive. And I have OneDrive too, because it comes with my Windows machine. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on, but stop me if you have more questions. What are some of the benefits of using cloud storage? So we talked about saving storage space on your computer. So if you decide to move files to the cloud and store them there, that allows you to free up some space on your hard drive. So that's one benefit of using cloud storage. Sharing and collaboration is another big feature when you're working with cloud storage. So storing your files on the cloud enables you to share those files or folders with others, and then they can actually work on those files with you. They can collaborate with you. Then there's accessibility. So when you store your files in the cloud, they can be accessed by any device. So these days we tend to have more than one device. So if you have a laptop or desktop, you have your smartphone, you have maybe a tablet. For any of your files that are being stored, maintained in the cloud, in a cloud storage app, those files can be accessed by any and all of your devices. So that's another nice benefit. And they're accessible 24/7, always. You can access them. You can access them from your browser or from any of your mobile devices.